Today is May 3rd, Tuesday. Today is National Lumpy Rug Day. I guess to each his own. Let's take a look at the market today. We've got a 1% sell-off going on right now in the early going Tuesday morning. Take a look at the big indices. And starting with the S&P 500, you could visually say the rally from the second low there earlier in the year is over. But where do you put the trend line? It's a tough call because it really only hits one line. It doesn't describe the action well in there. And we can move it around, something like that. But, is this a fan line? Is this gradual rollover? I don't know. I don't want to use this line. I don't like it. We'll look at the resistance overhead, though. You can see there's a pretty big ceiling of resistance or supply overhead. So it was a good guess that the rally would have run into trouble in that area. But, is the trend broken? Here's the 50-day average not broken, so it could still just be a pullback. Let's look at some other indices. The NASDAQ composite coming up. It's a little bit better trend line, and now sitting on the 50-day average. Again, not the greatest for this, one of the three majors. Moving a little bit broader, this is the New York Stock Exchange composite, and this is a much, much better trend line. You can see that. You got the hit there. You got the hit here, and then a touch there. But it's not broken. The line is not really broken. Still pretty far above the 50-day average. And this trend line, this one down here, clearly still broken to the upside. So far, not panicking on this pullback in the stock market. Let's take a look at the Dow Transport. So this is something to worry about. This is a broken trend line, and possibly even a failed breakout of the declining trend line from up in here. So this is of concern. 50-day average now being tested. I would say that as long as this support level down here holds, we're still okay on this index. But this is definitely of concern. And now we're going to move on to the Russell. Now recently the Russell made its move, and you can see that it broke up above this trend line. So it was a breakout in absolute terms, and I just want to pull back just to show you why I have these two horizontal lines here. You can see that's a pretty good support floor. So after a major breakdown and a save, lower low but higher indicators, trust me on that one, the RSI was rising, not falling at that point. But anyway, we have a rising trend here and a breakout through this trend line. And I want to look at one study on this. I'm going to look at price relative, basically relative performance or relative strength. You can see that it's still rising relative to the S&P 500. Let's put a trend line on this thing. So, it's not perfect. You could argue, should I have drawn it through that peak or not? But to me, this looks like a breakout in relative terms to the S&P 500. That doesn't mean that the Russell is going straight up from here. It just means that it's performing better and may pull back less than the S&P 500. So anyway, let's recap what's going on here. The indices have not really broken down. The transports are in danger. The Russell's still outperforming, although you couldn't tell over the last 2 days. So far, still just a pullback. Big resistance area on the S&P 500. Put that back up for a sec. So it is a resistance area. It is logical, if there's anything as logic in the stock market. Let's get rid of that. So far, it's a pullback. Not to be terribly worried. But of course, you're going to keep an eye on that. It's been a long rally since January, February, so you would expect a decent sized pullback, not just this little blip. So keep an eye on it, but still no need to panic just yet.